So today in this class we are going to discuss about subnets. So this is basically subnet is basically a segment of Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. So this is basically segment of Amazon Virtual Private Cloud IP addresses range. Now this is as segment of VPC IP addresses range. Now here in this segment where we can launch EC2 instances. Here we can launch various EC2 instances. We can use various RDB databases as well as other AWS resources. So this is basically segment of IP address range where we can launch EC2 instances, databases as well as resources. Now we have CIDR blocks. In the previous class we have discussed about these blocks. So this CIDR, it defines various subnets. It defines various subnet. For example, if we need to define the subnet, like we have 2.0.1, this is basically 10.0.1.24, or we can use 192.168.0. Like this, we can specify. In CIDR blocks, we can specify our subnet. Now, Amazon Web Services reserves the first 4 IP addresses. AWS reserves the first 4 IP addresses and last IP address. It reserves first 4 IP addresses and last IP address of every subnet. So why it saves or it reserves first 4 IP address and last IP address of every subnet for internal networking purpose. This is basically for internal networking purpose. So for internal networking purpose, it is reserving first 4 IP addresses and last IP address of each and every subnet. Now after creating an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, so if we have created a VPC, we can add one or more subnet in each availability zone. We can add one or more subnet in each availability zone. In each availability zone, we can add one or more subnet. Now, these subnets reside within one availability zone and cannot span zones. Subnets resides in one availability zone, and also it cannot span zones. That means it cannot be increased more. So I can say that one subnet is equal to one availability zone. One subnet will be equal to one availability zone. That means for one availability zone we have one subnets which can specify the IP addresses range. Now subnets are of different categories. It could be private, it could be public, VPN only. Private, public or VPN only. Let's suppose like we have public subnet. Public subnet. In this public subnet in which associated route table directs the subnet traffic. Directs the associated route table directs the subnet traffic to Amazon virtual private cloud internet gateway. So if route table directs the traffic to internet gateway, we call it as this is a public subnet. Next we have private subnet. Now what private subnet is, in which here in this case associated route table does not direct subnets traffic to VPC IGW. It does not directly route traffic to internet gateway. Next we have VPN only. Now here in this case associated route table directs traffic to Amazon VPC, directs traffic to Amazon virtual private cloud VPG, and also it does not have route to internet gateway. So internet IP address range of subnet is always private. That means we have to consider this thing. And this is an important thing in this, that internal IP address range this range is always private. So this is about subnets that we have discussed in today's class. We will continue with next component in our next class. Thank you so much.